Welcome music lovers. Join us as we explore the captivating life of John Bonham, the legendary drummer behind Led Zeppelin's thunderous beats. From his humble beginnings to the pinnacle of rock superstardom, this journey delves into the highs and lows of Bonham's extraordinary career and the impact he left on the world of music. So let's dive in. John Henry Bonham, born on the 31st of May 1948 in Redditch, Worcestershire, England, to parents Joan Sargent and Jack Bonham. Bonham, the eldest of three siblings, had a younger brother named Michael and a sister, Debbie, who is a singer. His birth was eventful, lasting 26 hours with his heart stopping. The doctor had left, and another doctor was called in to revive him a moment later, described as a miracle by the nurse. The Bonhams lived on the outskirts of Redditch in Hunt End. His grandfather ran a building company, J. H. Bonham & Son, where John's father Jack worked as a carpenter. Additionally, John's mother Joan ran a local newsagent's shop. These businesses would later support John and his younger brother Michael's education at the Wilton House private school. John's passion for drumming surfaced at the early age of 5 when he turned household items like bath salt containers, pots, pans, and a circular coffee tin into makeshift percussion instruments. At 10, his mother bought him his first snare drum, recognizing his genuine interest. Despite the unconventional choice, John's parents supported his passion, and at the age of 15, he received his first full drum kit, albeit one described by John himself as almost prehistoric, due to its rusty condition. Whilst attending Lodge Farm County Secondary School, Bonham joined the Blue Star Trio and Jerry Levine and the Avengers, from 1962 to 1963. After leaving school at 16, where his head teacher once remarked in a school report, "He will either end up a dustman or a millionaire," Bonham worked as a builder for his father while passionately playing the drums for local bands. His musical influences ranged from British groups like Johnny Kidd and the Pirates, the Hollies, and the Graham Bond Organization to American jazz legends like Buddy Rich, Art Blakey, Max Roach, and Louis Bellson. In 1964, Bonham entered the semi-professional music scene by joining Terry Webb and the Spiders, where he also met his future wife, Pat Phillips. He played with other Birmingham bands like the Nicky James Movement and the Senators, recording a single, "She's a Mod," in 1964. Fully dedicating himself to drumming, Bonham later joined A Way of Life in 1966. Following the band's disbandment, he became part of the blues group Crawling King Snakes, where he collaborated with lead singer Robert Plant. By early 1968, John Bonham had earned a strong reputation in the Redditch music scene as one of the best drummers due to his powerful, stamina-filled, and technically skilled performances. However, his penchant for playing extremely loud and hard often led to broken drumheads and bans from venues with volume limits. Bonham would exceed these limits, amusingly recalling being blacklisted in Birmingham. He frequently hopped between bands, always pursuing better opportunities, which sometimes left fans surprised when he didn't show up for a gig, having moved on to another musical venture. In 1967, Bonham rejoined band A Way of Life but stayed in contact with Robert Plant. Plant formed Band of Joy, wanting Bonham as the drummer, and they recorded demos, although no album materialized. In 1968, American singer Tim Rose invited Band of Joy to open his concerts, and Bonham later joined Rose's band when he returned to Britain. After the Yardbirds disbanded in July 1968, Jimmy Page formed a new band and enlisted Robert Plant, who recommended Bonham. Page considered other drummers, such as B.J. Wilson and Paul Francis. However, upon witnessing Bonham's performance with Tim Rose in July 1968, Page and manager Peter Grant were convinced of his suitability for the project, initially named the New Yardbirds and later Led Zeppelin. Despite initial hesitation, Bonham accepted the offer after persistent telegrams from Plant, who sent 8, and Grant, who sent 40, choosing Led Zeppelin over more lucrative offers from Joe Cocker and Chris Farlow. When asked about joining the band, Bonham stated, "I decided I liked their music better than Cocker's or Farlow's." During Led Zeppelin's inaugural US tour in December 1968, Bonham befriended Carmine Appice, Vanilla Fudge's drummer, who introduced him to Ludwig drums, a choice Bonham stuck with throughout his career. Known for his powerful drumming style, he left his mark on iconic Led Zeppelin tracks such as Moby Dick, Immigrant Song, When the Levee Breaks, Kashmir, The Ocean, and Achilles' Last Stand. Bonham's dynamic playing is evident in the studio recording of Misty Mountain Hop and No Quarter. While early demos of Communication Breakdown featured a double bass drum, Page opted for a single bass drum in the final version due to Bonham's overuse. On later albums, Bonham showcased his versatility with funk and Latin-influenced drumming on tracks like Royal Orleans and Fool in the Rain. Known for his legendary drum solo, initially titled Pat's Delight and later renamed Moby Dick, Bonham's solos often stretched to an impressive 20 minutes. During these performances, he would often use his bare hands on the drums to replicate the sound of a phased hand drum. In the song Remains the Same film, Bonham's solo was featured in a drag race sequence at Santa Pod Raceway. Throughout Led Zeppelin's tours from 1969 onwards, Bonham expanded his drumming repertoire to include congas, orchestral timpani, and a symphonic gong. Led Zeppelin embarked on extensive tours, spanning from December 1968 to July 1980, performing sold-out shows worldwide, including the USA, Europe, Japan, and Australasia. Infamous for their wild behavior on tour, rumors of drug abuse, fighting, sexual experimentation, and hotel room destruction swirled around the band, with Bonham often associated with these antics. In February 1978, Bonham faced fines and a suspended sentence for his involvement in a violent incident during a concert in Oakland, California, on July 23, 1977. Despite the band's tax exile, Bonham returned to England for the birth of his second child with Pat, named Zoe Bonham, in 1975. Other projects include Bonham's collaboration in 1969 on The Family Dog's A Way of Life alongside Page and Led Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones. His diverse drumming extended to working with screaming Lord Sutch on Lord Sutch and Heavy Friends in 1970 and playing on Lulu's 1971 single, Everybody Clap, written by Maurice Gibb and Billy Laurie. Bonham's musical ventures continued with contributions to various projects, including Maurice Gibb-produced albums and collaborations with Birmingham friend Roy Wood. Notably, he played drums for Wings' album Back to the Egg and was featured on Paul McCartney and Wings' Beware My Love demo version. Bonham's versatility even led him to appear in the film Son of Dracula in 1974, showcasing his drumming skills alongside Keith Moon and Ringo Starr on the soundtrack album. Personally, John Bonham had a younger brother, Mick Bonham, a disc jockey, author, and photographer, and a younger sister, Deborah Bonham, a singer-songwriter. He was married to Pat Phillips, whom he met at a gig in Kidderminster when he was 16, and they had 2 children. Zoe Bonham, a singer-songwriter, frequently appears at Led Zeppelin conventions, and Jason Bonham, a drummer, has recorded or toured with various bands, including Led Zeppelin at special reunion shows. A film clip from 1973 featuring 7-year-old Jason playing drums appears in the Led Zeppelin film. The song Remains the Same. Zoe and Jason joined the surviving members of Led Zeppelin at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 1995. Bonham's love for his wife Pat remained strong throughout their years together. After getting married, John worked a day job for Osborne's, a high-class tailor's clothing company in Redditch, to support his family. They lived in various places, including his father's caravan and a high-rise flat in Eve Hill, Dudley, during the release of Led Zeppelin's first album in 1969. Bonham's mother Joan, who passed away in 2011, sang for the Zimmers, a 40-member band formed after a BBC documentary on the treatment of the elderly. Bonham also had a cousin in the music industry, Billy, who played keyboards for Terry Reid and Ace Kefford. On the 24th of September 1980, John Bonham was picked up by Led Zeppelin assistant Rex King for rehearsals at Bray Studios, ahead of the band's North American tour starting on the 17th of October. During the journey, Bonham consumed an excessive amount of alcohol, including 4 quadruple vodka screwdrivers. After heavy drinking at rehearsals, the band continued at Jimmy Page's house, where Bonham fell asleep and was later found unresponsive on the afternoon of the 25th of September. Unfortunately, at the age of 32, John Bonham was pronounced dead. On the final day of his life, as John Bonham and Robert Plant drove to their last rehearsal, Bonham expressed dissatisfaction with his drumming, stating, "I've had it with playing drums. Everybody plays better than me." Frustrated, he pulled off the sun visor and threw it out the window, proposing that Plant play the drums while he would sing at the rehearsal. This marked their last practice session together before Bonham's tragic demise. The inquest on October 27, 1980, revealed that within 24 hours, John Bonham had consumed approximately 40 shots, 1 to 1.4 liters, of 40% alcohol by volume vodka, leading to pulmonary aspiration after vomiting and choking. The ruling was accidental death. The post-mortem did not detect any other recreational drugs in Bonham's system. Despite recently overcoming a heroin issue, he was taking medication for anxiety and depression. Bonham's ashes were interred at St. Michael's Church, Rushick, Worcestershire, on October 12, 1980. Rather than replace Bonham, Led Zeppelin chose to disband, expressing deep respect for his family and a sense of undivided harmony in a press release on December 4, 1980, signed, Led Zeppelin. And there you have it. John Bonham's legacy lives on through the annals of rock history, his thunderous drumming shaping the sound of Led Zeppelin and influencing generations of musicians. His beats will forever echo in the hearts of music enthusiasts around the globe. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Take care and bye for now.